Welcome back my YouTube channel Old Coin ZE Collection, your go-to place for everything old, rare, and valuable in the world of coins. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. Today, we've got an absolute gem to talk about, one that could blow your mind and possibly make you rethink your coin collection. Yep, we're talking about the coin 1992 one penny coin from the United Kingdom and its staggering potential value. We're diving into the history, rarity, and yes, the $1 million question. Is it possible for this humble penny to be worth a fortune? Stick around to find out. Before we get into the big value talk, let's take a moment to appreciate the history behind this small, yet significant coin. The 1992 one penny was minted during a transitional period for the United Kingdom's currency. This was a year before the final introduction of the bimetallic £2 coin in 1994, and it marked an era of British coins that would eventually be phased out in design. In 1992. The one penny coin still featured the traditional design by British sculptor Christopher Ironside, which had been in circulation since 1968. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Makhlouf. But the real kicker here is the reverse, which showcases a beautiful design of a single penny surrounded by a laurel wreath, representing Britain's agricultural past, although the coin itself seems rather plain. It's the rarity and condition of specific pennies from 1992 that makes collectors sit up and take notice. So, what's all the hype about this little coin, right? Well, you see, it's not just the standard 1992 penny that holds value. The key factor here is rarity, and a very specific set of circumstances is what could drive the price of a 1992 one penny up into the millions. In 1992, the Royal Mint made millions of these pennies, but only a small fraction of them were accidentally struck with a misprint, a double die error. This means that the design on the reverse side was stamped twice, giving it a unique, distorted look. Now, these errors are incredibly rare. And when you think about the millions of pennies minted that year, finding one with this error is like finding a needle in a haystack. This error can drastically increase the value of the coin. And it's why certain 1992 pennies have been auctioned for insane amounts. It's not just any error. The level of detail and the authenticity of these mistakes can make them incredibly valuable, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Now, here's the question that many of you are likely asking. Can a 1992 one penny actually be worth $4 million? It might sound far-fetched, but let me tell you, there's a very specific reason this myth has circulated in the coin community. There was one particularly rare 1992 penny that was sold at auction in 2008, and it fetched a record price. Some reports claim it was sold for over $4 million. But before you start scouring your piggy banks, let me clarify something. This particular penny wasn't just a regular 1992 coin. It was a one-of-a-kind error, in mint-perfect condition, and it was sold to an extremely dedicated collector. And while this does set a precedent for the high potential value of a rare penny, the reality is that most 1992 one pennies are worth far less. Most 1992 one pennies without the error can be valued anywhere from a few cents to a couple of pounds, depending on their condition. But if you find one with the double die error or another minting mistake, you could potentially be holding on to something worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. So, how can you tell if you've got a valuable 1992 one penny? It's all about the details. You'll want to carefully inspect the coin for any signs of a double die error. The easiest way to spot it is by looking for a faint, doubled image on the reverse side, particularly around the lettering and the date. The distortion will be visible to the naked eye in most cases. Make sure to also check the overall condition of the coin. A well-preserved penny, especially one with no wear and tear, is going to be more valuable. The more pristine the coin, the higher the potential price. Remember, collectors and auction houses are always looking for coins in mint condition, so take good care of any coins you come across. If you're unsure, it's always worth getting it professionally graded. If you think you might have a rare 1992 penny in your collection, you'll want to know where to sell it and get it appraised. First off, make sure you have it authenticated. There are several reputable grading services that will evaluate your coin and give it a grade, which can significantly increase its value at auction. Once your coin is graded, You can sell it at a reputable auction house, a coin dealer, or even online. But be careful, always work with trusted buyers, especially when dealing with such high-value coins. A quick search on platforms like eBay can give you an idea of what similar error pennies are selling for. To sum it all up, the 1992 one-penny coin from the UK might not look like much at first glance. But for the lucky few who stumble upon one with a rare minting error, it could be worth a fortune. The key takeaway here is that rarity, condition, and minting mistakes are what give coins their incredible value. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and who knows, your next find could be worth millions collected in history. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that's probably hiding in your collection right now, the coin 2 new Pence coin from 1983. But not just any 2 new Pence coin if you have one of the rarest types. So, if you're into coin hunting, or you just love finding hidden treasures, you'll want to stay tuned for this deep dive. Before we talk about its value, let's take a closer look at the history of the 2 new Pence coin from 1983. This coin was part of the British currency system after the decimalization of the pound, which happened in 1971. It was introduced to replace the older halfpenny coin, and it features a stunning design. The reverse side of the 2 new Pence coin shows a beautifully detailed image of a rose, thistle, shamrock, and leek, representing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. These are the 4 countries that make up the United Kingdom. And, of course, we can't forget about the iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. Now, let's zoom in on the 1983 version specifically. If you look closely, you'll notice that this coin was minted during a particularly interesting period for British currency. The 2 new Pence coin was produced in large quantities, but here's the kicker. Not all of them are created equal. In 1983, there were 2 different types of 2 new Pence coins produced, the standard one and a very rare variety. The regular 2 new Pence coins are relatively common, but there's a version that was produced with a slightly different design on the reverse. This variation, known as the Y date or 1983 no copper-plated steel variant, is where the real value lies. So why would a 2 new Pence coin from 1983 be worth $5 million? Well, that comes down to the rarity of the error coins. Some of these coins were produced with the wrong metal composition, and others have slight variations in the minting process that make them highly sought after by collectors. For example, if you have a coin from 1983 with a misaligned die or an odd texture, it could be worth thousands or even millions. These errors are rare, and their value skyrockets because collectors are always on the lookout for coins that deviate from the norm. In fact, some of these rare error coins have been sold at auction for astronomical prices, and one has even been rumored to have fetched close to $5 million. That's a huge amount of money for a coin that only cost 2 pence back in the day. Now, the million-dollar question: how do you identify whether your 1983 2 new Pence coin is worth a fortune? First, check the date and the size of the numerals. A coin with a Y date, or a date where the numbers are spaced farther apart, could be the key to unlocking its value. Also, take a good look at the metal composition. The regular coins were made of bronze-plated steel, but a few rare coins were struck with copper-plated steel. Another thing to look out for is wear and tear. Coins that are in pristine condition, especially those with no signs of circulation, are always more valuable. Keep in mind that even small imperfections, like a misaligned design or a slightly off-center strike, could make your coin worth far more than face value. So, let's say you've got a 1983 2 new Pence coin that looks like it might be worth something. How do you go about selling it? There are several options for selling rare coins. You could take it to an auction house, or you could sell it online through platforms like eBay. But be careful, make sure you get an expert appraisal before you put your coin up for sale. A professional numismatist can help confirm its authenticity and rarity. Remember, auctions like Sotheby's or Bonham's often feature rare coins, and sometimes they fetch astronomical prices. If your coin truly is one of the rarer 1983 versions, you could be looking at a nice payday. So, to wrap things up, the 1983 2 new Pence coin is not just a piece of history, it could also be your ticket to a fortune. With a little luck and a keen eye for detail, you might just have a hidden treasure in your collection and history. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that holds incredible value. The 2 new Pence coin of the United Kingdom. which, believe it or not, has a whopping value of $2 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stick with me to find out the crazy backstory and why this tiny coin is worth such a fortune. Now let's start with the basics. This is the 2 new pence coin, which was introduced in 1977 as part of the United Kingdom's decimalization of its currency. It replaced the 2 shilling coin in the UK's pre-decimal system, and the coin you see here is made of copper-plated steel. Now, at first glance, it might look like just another piece of British currency, but the story of this particular 2 new pence coin is something far more extraordinary. In 1977, the UK switched to a decimal system, and coins were restructured. The 2 new pence coin was part of this overhaul, weighing 7.12 grams and featuring a classic design, the heraldic rose of England. It was meant to be a simple and practical coin in everyday life. Fast forward a few decades, and these coins continued to circulate as everyday change, with millions produced each year. But what makes this coin truly fascinating is that one particular batch of 2 new pence coins, minted in 1977, was accidentally struck with a rare error that would change everything. In the early 70s, a small batch of 2 new pence coins were mistakenly struck with the wrong metal composition. Rather than the standard copper-plated steel, these coins were accidentally made using a much rarer and more valuable alloy. This error went unnoticed for quite some time, as the coins were circulated in the usual way. However, as time passed and collectors began to notice slight differences in the coin's color and weight, they soon realized that this batch of 2 new pence coins was a true anomaly. These coins weren't just rare. They were worth a fortune. So, how did this coin become worth a mind-boggling $2 million? The answer lies in a dramatic discovery in the early 2000s. A coin expert, during a routine appraisal of British currency, stumbled upon one of these rare error coins. The auction houses went wild in 2002. The rare 2 new pence coin was sold at auction for over $2 million, setting a world record for a British coin. How could a 2 new pence, originally worth just 2 pennies, skyrocket to such a staggering price? Let's dig deeper into why this happened. The value of a coin isn't just about its face value. It's about rarity, history, and condition. This rare 2 new pence coin was unique because it represented an accidental error in the minting process. Only a handful of these error coins were ever made, and fewer still survived in pristine condition. So, the rarity alone drove up its price. But let's also talk about its historical significance. In the early 1970s, the UK was going through major economic changes, including the move to decimal currency. The 2 new pence coin became symbolic of a new era for the country. It's not just a piece of metal. It represents a major shift in British history. That's why, when a rare example surfaced, it caught the attention of numismatists and history enthusiasts alike. Now, you might be wondering, how can you start collecting rare coins? Well, I've got you covered. Coin collecting is an exciting hobby, and it all starts with knowledge. The more you know about the history of a coin, its design, minting process, and any potential errors, the better equipped you'll be to spot valuable coins. Building a collection takes time and patience, but finding coins like the rare 2 new pence coin is what makes the journey so rewarding. So, what should you look for? First, always check the year of minting. Coins from earlier years are often more valuable, especially if they were minted in smaller quantities. To find valuable coins, start by checking your change. Look for old coins with potential errors. Some error coins include misprints, double strikes, and coins with missing elements. These can be worth far more than their face value. Make sure you use a magnifying glass or even a coin microscope to inspect the details. So, there you have it. The incredible story of the 2 new pence coin that sold for a mind-blowing $2 million. It's a perfect example of how rare errors, combined with historical significance, can turn a simple coin into a valuable treasure and story. The coin United Kingdom 5 new pence coin that's valued at an astonishing $8 million star. You might be asking, how can a coin that's so small be worth so much? Well, grab your magnifying glasses because today we're uncovering the secrets behind this amazing piece of history. Before we talk about the value, let's dive into the history of the 5 new pence coin. This coin was first introduced in 1968 as part of the United Kingdom's shift from the old pence system to the new decimal currency. This was a big deal because before decimalization, the pound was divided into 240 pennies. But in 1971, the UK decimalized its currency, which meant 100 new pence now made up 1 pound. The 5 new pence coin was part of this overhaul. Initially, it was equivalent to 1 shilling, which was 1/20th of a pound. Interestingly, the design of this coin didn't change much over the years, but it did feature a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on one side and the denomination with a heraldic design on the other. But what makes this coin so rare and so valuable today? Let's talk about that next. So, what does this 5 new pence coin look like? The coin features a beautiful depiction of the royal arms of the United Kingdom, showcasing the lion and the unicorn. On the other side, you'll see a classic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by the famous engraver, Arnold Machin. In terms of design, it's a relatively simple, yet elegant coin. However, the 5 new pence coin we're talking about today is not your typical one. Why? Because this specific coin is part of a very limited edition. Some of these coins were produced with unique minting errors that are the key to its immense value today. Now, here's where the magic happens. The 5 new pence coin in question that's worth $8 million is one of the rarest finds in the world of numismatics. It was struck with a rare minting error which caused the coin to have an off-center design, making it different from the standard ones produced. This error was so rare that only a handful of coins exist with this mistake. In fact, only one known coin in this error state has been valued at $8 million. Imagine that. A small mistake in the minting process, and it turns a regular coin into a world record-breaking treasure. But why is this coin worth so much? Let's break it down. To understand the value of this coin, there are several factors we need to consider. First, rarity is a huge factor. As I mentioned earlier, this coin has a minting error that only a few others share. With rarity comes desirability among collectors, and that leads us to the second factor, condition. This specific 5 new pence coin is in near perfect condition, which is another key factor that pushes its value to millions. The better the condition of the coin, the more it is worth, and this one is almost flawless, which adds to its allure. Third, historical significance plays a role. The fact that this coin was part of the UK's decimalization process makes it even more valuable in the eyes of collectors, particularly those who specialize in British numismatics. Lastly, the provenance, or the coin's ownership history, also contributes to its high price. The coin has passed through several prestigious collections before making its way to auction, and this adds a layer of excitement for those eager to own a piece of history. So, how did this coin make it to the $8 million price tag? It went to auction at a major numismatic event, and bidding was intense. The final price was driven up by multiple collectors who recognized its rarity and potential. In the end, the bidding war was fierce, and the coin sold for a record-breaking $8 million. This auction result sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, highlighting the incredible value that rare minting errors can achieve. But what does this mean for collectors today if you're a coin collector or just someone interested in rare finds? This 5 new pence coin sale shows just how much a small mistake can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary one. It also proves that numismatics is a dynamic and exciting field where history and rarity can lead to jaw-dropping values. But here's a tip. If you're out there hunting for valuable coins, always be on the lookout for minting errors or coins that have an interesting history behind them. Those are the types of coins that can increase dramatically in value over time. I want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a rare coin? Or maybe you have a collection that you believe could be worth a lot. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts or share your own numismatic stories. And remember, you can always subscribe to the channel for more awesome insights into the world of rare coins. Thanks for joining me today on this fascinating journey into the history and value of the 5 new Pence coin story. Until next time, keep collecting, keep discovering, and keep making history with Old Coin Z collection.